welcome to week 9. I hope you all had a refreshing break and are back and ready to go. In terms of the week 8 material, it seemed like a lot of it was a challenging chapter for the multiple choice questions, but people actually did a really good job overall describing language development in the short essay questions. Because the scores were relatively low for the multiple choice, I added 1 point to everyone's test scores. I was also glad to see after reading your proposals that a lot of you are on the right track for your final paper. If you are feeling stuck or having problems, feel free to email me or stop by my office or make an appointment to talk about it. The biggest problem that I saw was that your thesis statement was not making an argument. So the point of the paper is to make an argument and provide evidence or prove your point using research evidence, and your thesis statement should be telling me what the point is or telling the reader what the point is. Another big issue that I saw was your references. A lot of you have websites that you found and are using those as the bulk of your evidence. So if you go and look at the grading rubric, you can see that you need 5 references included in the paper. At least 3 need to be peer-reviewed empirical papers. I prefer that all of them are peer-reviewed empirical papers. So what this means is you need to get on EBSCO, and I've posted online instructions here, so I've got a little video narrating you through it if you're not familiar with it, to find articles describing research that has been completed. Another point about your references is your textbook cannot be used or cannot count as a reference. If your textbook cites irrelevant research information, you should look at the source they cite and look for the information and find that source yourself. Finally, your references must be in APA format. For this submission, I did not deduct points for incorrect APA format, but I will in future submissions. So I've got references here. I've got plenty of references to help you guide making that. Note that copying and pasting the reference from EBSCO, even if it tells you it's in APA format, is often wrong. So you need to actually go back and look at the resources I've given you and make the appropriate changes. Now for this week, we'll be covering emotional development. I've posted several videos demonstrating temperament, Harlow's monkey experiments, and then a few about the strange situation. And your forum assignment has to do with considering the costs and benefits of daycare and providing some external sources for these arguments. In addition, the next step on your final paper will also be due. Now that you've identified your thesis or main argument, I'm going to ask you to develop an outline so I can see what specific points you will use to support the argument, as well as the sources you have for these points. So if you go back up to the final paper reference section, there's a document titled Final Outline Requirements. And so this gives you some information about basically what I'm looking for. So you need to restate your thesis statement. I need to know what your 3 supporting arguments are and what references you have to support them. You also need to come up with a possible counter-argument and a reference for that. And then what you're going to do is explain why that argument is wrong. And then finally, you're going to tell me about what conclusion you've come to. Now, I also have a final paper outline example, which looks like this. And this is a nice example of what exactly I'm looking for, to give you a sense of kind of what I want in this outline. So let me know if you have any questions. Have a great week.